It made me an animal. It's rules to this. I wrote me a manual, a step-by-step booklet for you to get your game on track, not your wig pushed back. Rule number uno, never let no one know how much dough you hold, cause you know.
If you're wondering why you haven't been getting notified for our live shows, please follow these steps. Click on the notification bell first, and then go on your phone and make sure you get all notifications from YouTube. That is the key. It's Free Game Fridays. If you could just hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you click on the notification bell so you don't miss another live show every Friday night and Saturday night. We will begin shortly. Oh goodness. So sorry. I'm acting like I'm an amateur, but I'm not. It's been a crazy day, you guys. Thanks for letting me know that I was on the mute. But I was saying that thanks for being here. I appreciate that. And if for you guys that are in the back, if you could turn your turn your camera on so I could bring you up to make sure that you are ready to go. And for those who could make it, all right. So we have Mona D. Hey girl, what's up?
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
It's been a crazy one, but we are here. So before we get started, I wanted to ask you a question. So was dating easy for you before you found the one?
No,
No.
it was not easy. Not at all.
Okay. We could talk about it soon. I just wanted to know what you thought about it. Okay. Next up, I'm gonna bring up Mrs. She Said. Hey. How are you doing tonight?
Let me get off mute. Hello, ladies. Hello.
What's up? So I'm gonna ask you the same question, even though you've been married for so long. Was dating easy for you before you found your mister?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. All right. I'm gonna bring up
Hey,
Bethany.
Good evening, everybody.
How are you?
Hello, ladies. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Doing well. Busy day.
Yes, it was. Okay, so same question for you. Was dating easy for you before you found your husband?
Is it cutting out? Maybe that's my earbuds. Okay. Continue.
Okay. Was dating easy for you before you found your husband?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then we have Samantha. If you're ready, I'll bring you up. Okay. All right. She is almost ready. So yeah, just wanted to ask that because they think it's easy, when as far as like finding that person. Easy dating could be that you are just getting asked out a lot, right? And you have a lot of different options, I should say. So Mona, when you said no, why was not easy for you?
So that was a good point that you just mentioned because options were easy. But as far as the things that I was really aware of, Some things could be pretty surface level, right? That you can say, I don't really like that, or maybe the attraction isn't there. But when it comes to some of the other things and characteristics, especially if you have had either not a lot of information given to you by men in your life, and so you may not know certain things to look out for. I will probably say that for certain things, I'll say that would make it a little challenging. But the options part, no, that wasn't hard.
Okay, right. Exactly. I get that. What about you, Bethany?
For me, it's funny. What made it easy was, I guess you could say, the options I had, but also I was always around. And that sounds bad, around guys. I mean, college, after you graduate, your friend group, we were just a very social group of friends anyway. And so living out here in the South, I mean, it's your happy hours, it's your, what you're doing on the weekends, it's networking events for corporate. So I didn't have a hard time. I probably could have chose better, but I ended up with who I needed to end up with perfectly. But back then it was like, okay. We learn and grow.
I get it. I'm going to explain the question because it's a lot to it. It's simple, but it's a lot to it. So I'm glad you were able to break that down. Okay, Samantha, you ready? All right. Okay, and we have Samantha in the building.
I'm going to turn my camera this way so you all can see me this way.
Hi, Samantha.
Hey, ladies.
Hello.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm okay. It's snowing in Chicago. It just snowed today. It was nice all week. Now it's snowing, but it's Chicago. You get 80 seasons in a week. Yeah.
Oh wow. I got to visit there one day. I've never been to Chicago. Always wanted to go.
Come on through. Come on through. Y'all are all invited. But did you want me to answer your question, Lady Di? Was dating easy?
Yes. For you, yeah. Was it easy for you? Like,
it was easy. Like one of the ladies said earlier, it wasn't hard to attract. Now, what I was attracting is a whole different story. I was attracting what I thought I wanted, and it wasn't necessarily what I needed. And that's what so it was easy to date. And I had a whole thing where for a while I was just dating for dinner. Just go out, get, something new open. And that didn't lead me anywhere, but, a little thicker in the waist. But,
That's funny. Look, honesty is the best policy. I promise you. Mrs. She Said, Nikki, AKA Mrs. She Said. What about you? What made it easy for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wait,
I think she
froze.
froze.
I hope I'm not skipping around. But
You
if
did
not,
for a second. You good.
I had a lot of practice. A lot of practice. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Give me a thumbs up if I'm good.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, skipping. All right. We'll let her handle that. But yeah, so the question is the topic today is about first date. So even though we're married, but we all had a first date. Some people act like we married and we ain't never had experience. Like we had plenty of experience. We just landed the deal is the difference. So what it's kind of like, okay, what made dating easy or hard? So it could be that you had a lot of options, but the options that were there were not weren't the men that you were looking for. You know what I'm saying? Just because you have options, that don't really mean anything. It's who is the person that's suitable for you and your goals. Because you got all type of men. You got the bad guy that, he's just out in the street or whatever in a way that he's not ready for marriage, right? Then you have a bad guy that's just not right for you. That don't mean he ain't right for somebody else, right? Then you have the good guys that he's just marriage minded. So he could be good for anybody that is marriage minded. So I wanted to talk about that. All right, Mrs. She said we can see you now. Uh-oh, it's still lagging. All right. So yeah. So for me, I'll answer the question. So for me, I would say dating was not easy because even though I had a lot of options, those guys were no good. I didn't know. I didn't know until I practiced. Like I guess what Mrs. She said was saying she had a lot of practice. I had practice, but I was like,
Right.
I thought they were the one, and then I'm like, no, that's not the one. That's not it. That's not it. And then when I got in contact with the husband I have now, I was like, wait, yeah, no, this is different. He was the first guy ever that was like, that's the one. I've never met no one where I met someone and I'm like, yeah, you're the one. I never
Right.
dated someone that felt that way. So that's why I tell him it was destined to be, the Most High put us together and that's why we together. You know what I'm saying? Because it was
Yeah.
just too like perfect. So yeah, so I wanted to talk about that with you guys. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that it worked out for you. Okay, so we're gonna start to play. I wanted to bring up a video about Sierra and Russell Wilson. So one of the wives in the chat had mentioned that you know how Sierra, she's very provocative. She shows her twerking, everything is out for display. So as a wife, you look at it and you're like, girl, why are you doing that? But then in the chat, one of the wives was saying that there's some people who agree, like it's okay. She's an entertainer. She could do what she want to do, So it was like a 50-50 for her. So she wanted to understand why are some wives saying that it's okay, and then why are some wives saying like hell no, cover up, stop twerking, twerk for your man. So I wanted to talk about that. Wait, hold on, let me bring it back up. So I wanted to talk about that.
My apologies.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. You look better now, so I think you should be fine. Okay. What made dating easy for you?
I had a lot of practice. I'm the baby of two older brothers. I was courting boys as young as I can remember, kindergarten. Seriously. So I would ask a lot of weird questions, crazy what if questions, creep them out a little bit. And I had brothers, so that kind of the strong will survive type situation. Yeah. And I met him at 20. So we were very animated and about our conversations. It was back in 98, so cell phones didn't exist. You said you were going to call at a certain time. You had to be there. So, a man of his word. And by the time 20 came, I can spot a liar. It wasn't even about what you said. It was about what you showed me. So I was quite conscious of my decisions. And again, I had those brothers, even though I didn't have a father around. They were people I can depend on and be honest with and get a crucial, honest answer, So it really wasn't hard for me. I knew I wanted him. I just needed to secure the deal and made sure he wanted me back. I was interested off top.
That's good. You learned that at 20. I'm proud of you. 20.
Right?
Oh, yeah. I was a little grown. We were quite mature, 70s baby.
Career.
We were independent. Yeah. I wanted the family, and I knew I couldn't have both. I wouldn't be able to focus on both. The way I wanted to be a mother, I couldn't focus on both. Still able to do that, but early on, no.
That's very honest of you.
It was a crucial decision, and some women would say it was a sacrifice, and I don't see it as a sacrifice at all.
They like to use it's not a sacrifice. It's I think we just confused the two. And I've shared on another panel. I think the one you and I were on, Lady Di, that we were taught to chase careers as women, and especially get yours. Make sure you're not doing this, but like I wasn't really taught relationship. I knew that's what I wanted, but you know, I'm just glad that you made an intentional decision at 20. I was in college kicking it.
But she made a good point though. She said that what she wanted being a mom. So she wrapped it kind of like being a mother. The lifestyle she wanted for being a mother, she couldn't do both. When you said that, I felt that because that was me. I was like, the type of mom I'm trying to be or want to be, I can't, ain't no way I'm about to do all that and have kids and raise them like I want, which is pretty much like a homeschool style. I cook natural food, you know, all stuff that takes time, like a homemaker. Like that's
all
what
day
I
I'm in the kitchen.
You know, right? I envisioned that for myself. So I was like, okay, well, I gotta, you know, get a man that is on that same path. I told James, I was like, look, this is what I'm trying to do. What are you trying to do? You know, that was like the third conversation. I'm not playing. I already wasted time with people before. We got to keep it moving. So we started dating at 22, right?
Okay.
22 years old. We started dating, got married at 25. It was a rocky roller coaster for those 3 years, even though me and his goals aligned. But we were still two different people. He from the South, I'm from the North. I don't even know how that mixed, to be honest with you. But it did. It's working out. You know?
It's a good balance.
So, yeah. I look at that now. It's definitely a good balance. So dating for me, like I said, was hard because I didn't know. I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know what it looked like. I'm thinking anybody that's interested, that wants to be with me, that's showing me love, that's the one. And I'm like,
right.
That's not how you pick them. It could be a lot of guys that love you, but that don't mean that's your husband though. So that's why I wanted to kind of talk about that.
You know, Lady Di, I had a conversation with my husband. I'm still trying to say it, y'all. It's still different. I'm a learning curve here,
Congrats,
but Samantha.
Yes, you guys, Samantha just got married. Okay, she was engaged, I guess a little under a year. Got married a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes, February. So 2324. That's it. 23.
Oh,
nice.
Very nice.
I thank y'all for that. And we got engaged May 7th. And you know, of course, I don't mind the big to do, but I ain't want to spend $40,000 in, you know what I'm saying? And we know, and no shade on the big wedding, but a lot of them don't be married that long for the big, you know, production.
The marriage the debt outlasts the marriage.
Girl.
Best $35 investment we ever made.
Listen, and it went up to 60, but praise God for, you know, inflation. But we were just talking about, y'all, come on. But I didn't forget what I was trying to say, messing around laughing with y'all. Okay. But it was about when a man is because I had a conversation with someone that I know, and she said, well, he was acting real jealous when I was talking to somebody else. And so I went back with him. And my husband, he said, a lot of us confuse the jealousy for care. Yeah. And they don't be caring. They just want to get you back to where you were. And we have to just start recognizing those signs and stop playing the roller coaster games. You know, I was scared of my husband when he was intentional. I said, what's wrong with you? What you want to do all this? Girl, I'm sending pictures to my friends like this him. If something happened. That's what you get when you single all your 30s. That's what you get when you single in them 30s. And you keep playing. I'm sorry, good Lady Di girl. Be playing, lady. We be playing.
But so let's talk about your situation. So you said when you were in college or just, you know, in your 20s, you weren't seriously trying to find a husband. You were trying to land your career and find yourself in that way. What is it that Samantha wants to do with herself, right? Is that what it was for you?
It was. Especially I come from TV industry. So you start in a small market, and what they do, and much respect to the women out, because we're speaking about women in my industry, but you're really never settled. You have to move to different states. And the big goal for people, y'all watch TV. What's the major? New York. They trying to get to New York. It's like 3 top markets: New York, LA, and Chicago. And once you make it to these markets, you kind of, for a better word, arrived in your career. but you start in all of these smaller markets, smaller cities, and you know, the middle cities and things like that. So I'm chasing, trying to get, the bigger the market, the bigger the check. And I'm like, well, as soon as I get to where I feel like I need to be, where I need to be, and then let me circle back. My other counterparts weren't doing that. The other hand, the other side, they weren't doing that. They'll get them and lock them down in whatever city they lived in. I lived in Las Vegas, LA for a stint, and then just even back here, but in Chicago where I'm at. But coming back here, it's like I blinked, y'all, and I was 40. I blinked. I'm telling y'all, I blinked. It's like, whoa. And the stuff that I knew that I wanted, it ain't like I wasn't meeting guys, but I was so focused on what I could do to make my pockets bigger and better and to be able to provide for me. Because remember, I was taught you got to have your own. Even though people around me, my mother had me at 21. My grandmother had my mother at 21. Here I am chasing, you know, trying to get, that's what it was at the time. But I've learned lessons. I gratefully can still have children now, but I didn't want to be in my 40s having children. I just didn't want to. But, you know, these are choices that you have to deal with when you make them and take accountability for where you at. So that's where I was. And looking back, I can honestly say that there were selfish decisions that I made. But at the same time, I'm with who I'm supposed to be with. And I know that.
Oh, that's good. That's really nice. So I'm glad that it all worked out for you, especially if that was your goals, to be married one day. But if you were talking to a 18-year-old that just graduated high school, what type of dating advice would you give her, being that you were able to focus on yourself, right? And then later you found or wanted to be married? Would you give her advice to do the same thing, or to do both, or to just get married? What would you give that 18-year-old girl type of advice?
I would try to instill, I would say do both. And it depends on, honestly, I know it's kind of hard. I would tell her, secure the man. For real, secure the man. Because what'll happen is, and like I'm listening to you all say, it is hard to, especially if you want to be a mother. Ladies, you need to realize we got a clock. And people don't like to talk about that. And, you know, and I know even now it's absolutely, it's the freezing the eggs. And ain't nothing against that either. Do what you want to do with your body. However, it is not ideal. It's not ideal because it's no percentage that the egg will be fertilized when you finally do decide to get pregnant. So I would tell an 18-year-old, I want to know where her head is. I want to know what you want. Because many of us, we say we don't want no kids right now. We say we don't want that right now. Okay, well, put yourself on a plan. I would say don't get past 25 without having a husband. I would.
Okay.
I would say that. I know people will probably differ because a lot of us are getting, you know, married later. But I would say now, don't go past 25. Try not to go past 25 without securing a husband, or at least, you know, work on your babies.
Now, we ain't working on babies unless you are getting married first. We try that first. But no, I like that honesty with that 25, because today I think they're pushing at the 30 mark.
Still
to
not
start.
bad, but
that's what I'm hearing. It's not
but
bad.
With the womb part, like they have to consider that, you know, realistically at 30, your reproductive system starts to go down.
Yes.
You know, and they really need to understand that. I think, you know, the reality kind of goes out the window. We all really believe I can do it on my time, on my terms. And if you wait that long, you don't even know if you're capable of being fertilized. Like, women are set with their eggs from the time they are in their mother's womb.
Yes.
And if you abuse them by taking birth control and, you know, not eating properly and, you know, obesity, like all of these things women need to consider when it comes to their reproductive system, the health of their eggs, and them being fertilized. Like, it really needs to be honed in, studied. Ladies need to be very aware of their body because they're being very frivolous. And then we blame men.
Yes. Girl.
So 30, your percentage goes down about 10%. And your egg count is halfway gone. Like, so you really need to consider that. And like you said, ladies, if you do choose career or consider it, go to your OB. take those tests. Ask them to check your FSH and your LSH panels so you can see where your levels are. So you know a little bit. You're a little bit more conscious of, the probability later. Because just, manifesting a baby is not realistic.
Not manifesting the baby.
Yeah, or thinking it's going to happen on your terms. We see a lot of women struggle with it. It's very costly to, have in vitro and things like that.
It is.
That's true. When I was getting serious with James, I was scared at how old was I? 23. I'm like, can I even have a kid? I never really had that experience, even being scared of pregnancy. So I was just like, I can't get pregnant, So I was going crazy with that. Okay. Anybody else want to talk on this topic before we move on? Okay.
I'll say something. I like the idea of, how they say, get your MRS degree while you're in college. Because our other people do that. That's what they go to college for. But I would also say, it sounds great. Say, oh, you can marry young. But if you don't have a wise, mature, married, successfully married couple walking with you through those first few years of marriage, I think it will be a struggle. Because at this rate, society is coming in, you could say, two broken homes, technically, and childhood trauma and all that comes into this relationship where everybody's trying to become one, but coming in as two very individuals and selfish individuals. And so those first few years are always going to be rocky. And then the divorce rate is high. So, of course, those first few years, it's like, I don't like the way you smell today. I'm going to file some papers. Like, really? Everybody's getting divorced for silly reasons. And so I would say if you're going to get married young, even at 19, at 20, even after college, 25, 26, it's like, okay, well, do you have somebody to kind of help you through those first few years, hold you accountable, a mentor, a marriage counselor, something? Because, if you can't make it to 5, 10 years, I don't want to say what's the point, because that could be growth, but still, that we're trying to get married for the long term.
Yeah, I agree. So this is the last question. What age did everybody get married? I got married at 25. Mona, what about you?
24.
Okay.
26.
Bethany?
26.
Okay, and
28.
And the OG 43.
Okay.
Nicely done.
You glowing. I mean, shit.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, honey.
Yes.
It was.
I see some ladies in the chat sharing their age.
Blowing.
If you guys want to drop that in, y'all can. What age, ladies in the chat, did y'all get married? If you are married. All right, so let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about Sierra. Wait, hold on. I'm so bad at this. Okay, so Sierra, so she's the one that reveals everything. She twerks, all of that stuff. We want to know what.
I'm not going to let your words defeat me. Like, I am what I believe I am. I am who I know I am. And you know who I am too, but you just got a little negativity in you, and I'm going to let you have that.
All right. So, she's that wife. She's going to show it all. She's going to act like she's still single. And her silly ass husband going to be right there with her. All right. So, what we doing? So, like I said, one of the wives in our chat wanted to know. She's the youngest one in the group, by the way. So this is learning for her, but learning for everybody. Everybody's different. I actually have an answer for this, but I want to know what everybody thinks, because even though we could be like-minded, some of y'all might see that that's okay, and we want to talk about that. So whoever want to go first, do you think she's showing a great example of a wife? Even I don't care if she's an entertainer. She is still a wife and a mother at the end of the day. Okay. She has 3 or 4 kids now. So, all right. Who wants to go first with that?
I go first. So I've talked about this. I made a video where I discussed the issue with that. So I definitely can understand and separate the fact that yes, she is an entertainer, and entertainers, no different than Beyonce, no different than Cardi B, they are all in the limelight. That is a part of their contract, that is their identity, that's their image, right? But the problem that I have is that the majority of folks who support her, who listen to the music, who are in the comment section, we are not her. We do not live that lifestyle, and that is not a reality. The average man, regardless to how much money he makes, his education, a good man would not want his woman a representative of him, a representative of their children, especially if you have daughters. And even if you have sons, because you do not want your sons to perceive that that is the type of woman that you can have publicly on your arms. Because if she's going out, showing all of her body, twerking, what else is she down for? Right? And anything could potentially be on the table. And when you are a wife, in my opinion, you should have, let me say that, you can do whatever you want. But in my opinion, you want to represent your family well. I don't think that there's anything wrong with you showing your personality, showing your style, your quirks, anything like that. But I do think that there should be some limits, and there should be a fine line. And the majority of us are not her. We do not live that lifestyle. And at the end of the day, they would not allow their children to act that type of way. They would not necessarily send their children to, or allow their children or support those type of lifestyles. What did Carisha say? She doesn't even allow her daughter to listen to her music. So your daughters can be city girls, but my daughter cannot. Okay. So I think at the end of the day, we should all want to have a respectable image and representation and reputation. And we want to represent our family well. And we do not want, when our husband goes into rooms, people are like, oh, you seen his wife, what she had on last week or whatever. And yeah, we might not be to a Sierra status. We're not, but we all have social media. What if you posted images like that to your social media? People see everything. Everything gets shared. So that's my stance on that. Leave something for that. And also, let me say this too. When I talked about when Sierra wore that one outfit to, I forgot what award show, I said I didn't find anything wrong with the outfit. I found where she wore it to as an issue. Like, leave that sexy stuff behind the door for your husband. Twerk, be on the handstand, breaking it down, throwing it back. Leave that for your husband, not for everyone else to see and to, get off on or whatever like that. Have some separation. So that's what I want to say.
Okay, so that's a good insight on that. I love that you broke that down. Does anybody else want to say something about it?
In all these years, I think wives and husbands have their own rules in their marriage. If he's with her doing the silliness, then, I can't be mad at neither. But my personal opinion about her lack of modesty as a wife is unique, because other people, men, women, are lusting for you. And that's the main thing of modesty, being covered enough to where you're not creating lust from someone else, and she has children. A lot of this foolishness and the silliness, I hope in behind the scenes they're being educated, and nourished properly. And they don't see all of the foolery and think that's how you get further or successful in life, by any kind of attention. Seems like most people in society are attention whores. So wives, it is inappropriate to be an attention whore. Okay? That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I feel like a lot of us, and not us on this panel, I don't believe, but in general, women, period, they just love attention. And I feel like attention is kind of destroying the purpose of being a lady. Like, a lady does not act like, they shouldn't act that. All this attention bad. They're wanting the bad attention. They think that twerking on the camera is good because they have men looking at them, and the men that's looking at them, they're like, oh, I'm pretty, I'm cute, I still got it. Like, that's not, you're not supposed to get it like that. because all they want is sex. Right, right. When you get that man, do that for him. All these other slobs that's looking at you on the screen, who knows what they're doing? That's disgusting. Like, if you think about it, just think about, oh yeah, he's on the phone looking at right.
No, it is.
That's what I was saying. You got that towel out and that lotion, y'all nigga want to work. Know?
Somebody said in the comments why he's silly about Russell Wilson. He is, because I would say it's a lack of respect. Although that she may appear to respect him, it's a lack of respect on both ends. And I know people in the entertainment industry can get away with certain things that otherwise the average wife would not be able to. Dare I say anything about I like Beyonce, don't get me wrong, but when does she ever really promote family? You know, she promoting being on the horse with the silver on, the Renaissance. What about family? And I know you'll see it, but you rarely see them, like, she rarely promotes it. Now it's hair care. Now it's a mama straightening out the hair and doing all the other kind of stuff. But you don't really see that. Now Ciara may be with the kids and stuff like that, but it all comes down to what kind of respect is it for your man. And I know this may be viewed, and it's like, you don't know what kind of respect she may have for him. It's not a whole lot. And him as a man, that's why he's silly, because he allowing it. He's allowing it. And then that's where the simp behavior comes from. Sensational. And that's what it is. And then, you know, men that say what's wrong with them, I ask the question, how would you feel if your woman did that? You wouldn't even let her come out the crib. That whole Keke Palmer situation, I'm still on that one. He wanted to get upset, and he had every right to get upset. But you let her walk out the door like that. You let her walk out. But what kind of respect is it for your man to even walk out like that? I'm even looking at some stuff certain times like, oh, am I showing a little too much? You know, this for Luther. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't for Larry. It ain't for Tony. This for Luther. And as women, this is the type of stuff that we say we want to be wives, but what Ciara walks around with the attitude, the same one I used to have back in the day. I'm doing this for me. This is for me. You know, I want to make sure this is for my career. No, because that man providing. So make sure that you respect the provision that you say you really wanted. And we don't be respecting the provision. We don't even know what provision means. Get me started. We like provision. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah. They want to make it look like, they want to make it look like what they want it to look like. I heard somebody I didn't hear nobody, but somebody in the chat said it earlier. You know, women want relationships on their terms and on their terms only. Control freaks, superiority, ego, ladies, tame it down. Humble yourself.
Let me step in here right quick. I remember early on in my marriage, when I thought I was going to be able to be married, have a family, and still meet up with the girls every now and then, and this and that. And my husband had to reel it in. Like, hold up. It's about us, this household. And your girls can wait. There's a time and place for them. But for the first couple of years, we really stayed within our union. We didn't have outside influences. We weren't just going out, oh, this your man night, this my girl's night. No, he was very intentional about pushing that. And I was like, oh, okay, what I got myself into. Like, oh, it felt controlling at first when it's really covering. So I had to humble myself and get back into reality. But I remember my husband saying, you can't be 1 foot in this house and 1 foot in the street. You either going to be in a marriage or you want to be single. Single-minded people should not be married. Period. You can't, the Lord don't even work like that. You can't serve two gods. Pick one. And stand on whatever you're going to pick, but stand on it, and he give you grace enough to come back if you need to. So the Ciara thing, my problem with the whole Ciara and Russell Wilson foolishness is that a few years prior to them being married, they stood on all these biblical principles. And I don't like that. I'm over here like, girl, I was giving you some grace with that. Yeah. Russell Wilson, everybody being abstinent and blah, blah, blah. And you get married, you get the ring, everything seems wholesome. And then now you're twerking on tables and he in the camera and you're half dressed and the titty out. girl, what boundaries are you going to set? Pick one. And in my opinion, if he comes from a Christian family, well, you embarrassing your in-laws. If they got any kind of biblical principles and morals, they should be like, please don't buy her CD. Please don't look at her new video because my daughter-in-law out there doing the fool. That's not cool. You're embarrassing your own family name and now your in-law family name. And that name, that's your husband's last name. That holds weight. So come on, it's embarrassing. As a wife, you got to do better. Someone chose to marry you. Please respect that man as head of your household and as the leader. But that shows you Russell Wilson isn't leading his family well. And as much as we promote, oh, he taking care of Future Junior and blah, blah, blah. He's such a great dad. Come on, that's nice. Kudos. But how you going to check your wife? Check her.
That's why he's silly, because ain't no way he just gonna let her do that.
He can't check his wife.
You can't check no modern day woman. You can't check. You cannot check, and especially saying that you cannot check no modern day woman. They'll tell you real quick, you ain't my daddy.
Come on, the charade.
You know, so the disrespect is learned. I mean, it's championed by a lot of other women. You know, and they teaching this to the younger generation. Because in our day, you disrespect a man, your ass gonna get smacked. I'm just saying. So there has been provisions, there has been, you know, generations of women telling the boys, don't you ever hit a woman. So you have men with a certain level of respect, but women will antagonize and pick and they still won't hit them. So women, you know, it's a lot of training going on. And we've been seeing that, you know, they've been getting deleted. They've been, you know, things been happening. Some women like men like that. But there's a lot of men that don't behave that way. They'll walk away from you. They don't want to deal with that type of energy. Those are the ones who will find them a wife. So a lot of these dudes, you know, come up under women and they think that this kind of behavior will be tolerated. And then some of them are afraid to say something because a woman will tell you real quick, you getting some of this stuff. You better not tell me nothing or I'll shut it down. And they so wrapped around that WAP, that shit will dry up. Don't make that the only thing you offer up. I'm just saying, you grow older. It ain't all that you should be offering. So much more that we have and, you know, that we can offer a family, a community, like for real. And we need to get back there, rebuild that village mindset. Because this whore mentality is ridiculous. It's driving me crazy because our babies are coming up this way. Our little girls are out here doing rainbow parties, going around putting their mouths on all kind of little penises. So you best talk to your girls. Stop playing. It's real out here. Shame Sunday. Check me out.
A rainbow party, girl. Lord help me.
It's crazy. And this I got 23-year-old grown child, 18, and a 28-year-old son. So yeah, it's gotten worse, but it was going on even when they were younger. So be mindful of your children. Talk to them.
I'm happy you brought up the kids because I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old son. And some people may say, well, why you always want to do the panels and why does this interest you? I said, well, I have to speak on this because guess what? I will have future daughter-in-laws. What the heck are they going to be like? Well, I mean, at this point, I'm over here like arranged marriage. I need to know. Okay, that ain't play cousin. That's not your little places. No. Let's keep that separate because that may be your future wife because I know what she was born as. I got birth certificate. I know your parents. I know what kind of stock you coming from. You know, come on. I don't know how everybody raising everybody now. They daughters. I can't trust that. And social media is not helping. So, no. So, you know, anybody on the panel, you have an of-age daughter, call me in 20 years.
I was crazy saying that years ago. Years ago.
You brought up the females that's hitting guys and don't think he gonna pop back. And somebody asked, should the men go back to slapping women? No, we not saying that. It's just that, ladies, you don't think fed me greasy out here. And then y'all know somebody old school, you don't think fed me greasy, try somebody. And you keep on trying now. But what happens is it'll be the what did he do versus our mouths that may have caused. And I will say this because somebody ain't got a Grammy because he's still blackballed. And y'all know who I'm talking about. For what he did in the car some years ago to somebody that kept hitting on him.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. See how you said
And
the
why?
last part? Say that part.
Yeah.
You know,
that person that kept hitting on him. And was he wrong for hitting back? Yes. But Chris, see, everybody's, somebody want to act like, yeah. And that brother ain't been able to rebound since then. But come on now. He ain't just pop off like that. I don't think so. And it's just
women, we have to train our girls to not antagonize. That is not a respectful way to be in a space with a man. Like, why bother? You have to be with a man that you have to antagonize, pick at. Like, that is not the kind of energy that you should have or that you should want. Because when their force comes back to you, it's tenfold. Like, and that's something you should be mindful of. Like, we don't want to get beat up on. Now, fighting with another woman, something different. That's something totally different. But if every man had a sister that didn't play that shit, that's another route you can take too. Just know that my sister gonna lay hands. It's just a level of human decency. Somebody that you love, you shouldn't hit. You shouldn't cuss out. You shouldn't call names. You shouldn't belittle. You shouldn't antagonize, pick on, find anything to nitpick about. That's not how you move. Because you'll get that energy back. And then what? How are you going to take that? Men are strong. Physically stronger. And that level of respect should be up front. That's all I'm saying. I would never want men to be hitting women, but I don't want women to be hitting men.
Right.
At all. Stop it. Your children are watching.
That part.
Yeah, that's y'all got deep with this one. Yeah, we can't be doing that because men are stronger. Y'all stronger. Even if she hits you, I mean, you hitting her back is not going to do nothing as far as her understanding that you could hit her back. Okay, and that shit may hurt, but it's still not right. But I'm not going to go there. But I did want to bring up Take Heed's video because y'all was talking about who's going to check me. Like some of these ladies with dating, like they don't understand. So I wanted to bring her video up so we could see that. Oh, wait, hold on. Is it on mute? Oh, can't play it. I'm going to have to fix that, but I'll play it later. So yeah,
I can imitate her for you. I'm just
right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix that. All right. So let's get into the next topic. So I seen a post about basketball player Damian Lillard and then Glorilla. I'm not a fan of Glorilla. I just know she all over the damn place. I see her ass popping up, talking crazy shit all the time. But this one kind of pissed me off because it's like, why are women doing this? So let me go ahead and show you guys. All right, so this is Damian Lillard. He is and plays the NBA basketball. This is his wife. They've been together since high school. So Glorilla, that's his wife. So Glorilla wanted to inquire about this man. She goes, whose dude is this? Because I want him, right? So it's kind of like, first of all, you already know the man is married. And if you don't, you could just ask him. So she knew. When people say this, she knew he was married. She just trying to get attention with this man. And then she gonna post it like that. So now she want his wife or whoever he's with to see this. All right. So then she goes, whoever she can't whip me, so I really don't give a fuck, right? That's petty. Because now you all over Twitter and all that trying to say that you want to fight somebody you've been dealings with.
Be toxic for the rest of your 20s. You only get one life. Live your toxic 20s. You never get to be.
I don't know why these are acting up today. All right, let me redo it, you guys. But yeah, So just from that alone, she's straight tripping. Let me pull this back up. Hold on, y'all. All right, so I don't know why. Anyway, so let's just get into it. So the rest of that video was just basically her talking crap. She's showing women that they could just kind of like do whatever do whatever they want. She's telling women to be toxic through their 20s is what she said. So it's kind of like she's promoting this toxic behavior. And then she wants somebody else's man. So I wanted to bring this up because I wanted to know what's up with women wanting somebody else's man. I don't understand it. I know I hear men saying or people saying that women want a man that somebody else wants, that type of attention. And I don't get that because that's not me. I don't want that because I don't want women all over my man and I got to fight you every fucking day. So what's up with this culture? Like, any thoughts on that?
Oh man. It's the music industry agenda. We're easily influenced and easily manipulated. So, I mean, like you said, the Beyonce, her last few records have nothing to do with family. It's telling women to quit their job and, all this church praise crap. Now, like, it's unhealthy. So look at all of the images that they are putting forth. It's nothing but whore, gutter snipe, trash, rap with these females. Like, and our little girls are watching this stuff. It's okay to be a whore. I did a whole show and showed about 10 different, artists who are label signed and they don't sing nothing but trash, being a whore, and they parade it and champion it. So, it is a program and an agenda. So we have a hard job ahead of us, taking our image back because many of us don't behave this way. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a shame because we're all grouped together. And when we fight for not championing it, we get called pick-me's and all this other crap.
But I don't see the success with them. Like, what are they getting out of it? Do they really consider themselves winning?
Yes, they get money. Yeah.
And even like, and I'm glad that Mrs. Nikki, right? Nikki, I'm glad that you brought up Beyonce again. And like I said, dare I say her name? No pun intended with that. But dare I say it, that you get attacked by that whole beehive. But like literally, there's no family promotion. And some people would really say that Beyonce is winning, but she's a whole contradiction. It's, quit your job doing this, but you going home laid up with one of the, like a man's man. But it's like, quit your job, move out the way, when just now. But and when you asked about are they really winning, I don't think so, because look at even Beyonce. It's like an unsettled spirit. I got to keep doing something. I got to create this next album. Now I'm doing country. Now I'm promoting hair. Now I'm doing this. Now I'm doing that. Like I said, y'all think about it. Every time you look up, she promoting something else. It's like, but that's what she's supposed to do. But you a whole wife. And do you know how many women would probably fall in line with what her and her mommy did, her mom and her daddy did, what Mr. and Mrs. Knowles did? They'll probably fall in line because you got the whole setup again. You married, your parents were married. She saw that. Her and Solange saw that growing up. But how many women would fall in line with loving to be a wife and a mother if Beyonce really promoted that? But why would I promote something? Because my spirit not really settled. So,
but still, it falls back under the attention. Absolutely. Being a wife and a mom, that's not enough title. That's not enough title for today's women. And it's nobody look. I say wives. This is a special club, and not everybody can get in. And it's not respected, especially stay-at-home moms. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I got girlfriends calling me saying, "When you going back to work?" My man said, "I'm not going back to work. I work for him."
That part.
But you don't want any more? You don't want to do something for you? I'm living in my purpose. I'm a wife and I'm a mother. In that order. These boys are taken care of. My husband, I can't get sick. He said, "Oh no, babe, you can't get sick. I'm gonna need you don't go kissing on them little. They sick." Don't, no, you can't get sick. You get sick, the whole house go down. I'm like, honey, you're able bodied. He was like, yeah, but you cook the meals really well though. You plate them nicely. I'm always missing something. I'm like, really? They spoil, but I'm living in my purpose.
Right.
I don't have to go to no. So yes, it's the attention. It's the attention, and they looking for the next thing. Beyonce can go sit down and retire.
I wish
with your millions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
yeah. The Beehive gonna come out.
Bring Blue up.
Thing.
Blue, raise her right.
Mm-hmm.
Cut off all our Instagrams.
That's
I
a good
wonder
point
why
you
I
made.
ain't getting no subscribers.
I have bees in my comment section after this video. He'll be mad.
You have coming. But no, it's a good point you made. Like, there's women who are not satisfied being a wife and a mother. Like, the satisfaction I get alone just from that, I'm like, work.
Mm-hmm.
Work. What is work? My work is my house, my man, my kids. Like, I don't understand what other satisfaction I need. And like you said about the stay-at-home mom, I don't know why women get that backlash on that. Like, they're home taking care of what they created. This is what they created. If you send your kids to school and to daycare or whatever, that's up to you. But if I chose not to, then what's the problem with that? I'm taking care of my child. Like, I don't never got that.
Lady Di, I'm gonna tell you who get it. Black women. We get it the most because I think we do. I really think this is a conversation that I only hear. I have like sets of friends, and I do have my white counterpart friends. This is what they do. This is what they do. We have to go out and seek Fortune 500 C-suite. I'm doing a seminar next week, a workshop for my organization that I'm in, and it's people in there. I'm talking about like a brand, the brand of the organization, but the C-suite seminar workshop was out the door. This is what we chase, that kind of stuff. We chase like the bag. We literally chase the bag when the bag is the man. And
Your sound went out.
Yeah. Samantha, your sound went out. She's saying some good stuff too, I bet.
Yeah, she cooked it over there.
We missing it all. Is this going?
Dang. I don't know what happened.
Beehive done got her.
And I don't lip read.
Can you hear us?
Put your mic back on again, Samantha. You
Unmute.
Say something. It probably just disconnected. Yeah, I have a few degrees or whatever. I did it while I was staying at home. After that, I had family members saying the same thing. So when are you going back to work? Your kids are old enough to go to school now. Like, I'm waiting for it. And I'm like, why are you waiting? It's my house. Did I say I wanted to go back? Like, I know I got the degree or whatever, but that's just in case if I chose to, not because you're telling me to. This is a discussion that I have with my husband. Should I, do I need to, or is it something that could benefit, right? So 2 incomes better than 1, yes, but that's my choice, not you're pushing me to go outside. I like it where I'm at. I like being at home. So the fact that people are trying to get away from it, like, this is just my decision, I don't see why it's bad, because it's my business, right? I'm not harming anybody. So that's why I never understand what is so bad about it. But yeah, I
think it's the lifestyle of a 2-income household too. I've had friends who say, I'm not giving up this particular lifestyle. I can stay home. I can afford to stay home. But I'm giving up a certain vehicle. I may be giving up a couple of vacations a year.
Shopping, debt, consumer debt, right? I want to just have stuff because I don't want to miss out on what all the other women around me are telling me that I'm missing out on, instead of standing 10 toes down on, the identity and your own purpose. And also understanding that it is nothing wrong as a wife to be on your husband's program and to do the things that he's asking, and you're not a slave, but it is for the betterment of, your home, and also you're helping society. My husband and I made a choice, when our children were young, because the Lord said, in your first pregnancy, I'm gonna hit you with 2 kids at one time. So to be a twin mother, we did talk about the whole stay at home, mother. And when I met my husband, I was still in school. I hadn't even graduated from college yet. And we had those conversations about, well, we might can do this, we might can do that. So once we learned we were having twins, he was like, oh no, you're going to wrap this up by this time, and then we'll go from there. And so we did choose to send our children to school, but we have also said, look, if today I told you to stop, you're going to stop. And guess what? I'm not going to give you no pushback on that, because I understand that my children's well-being is far more significant and more on the uptick with me than it is to send them to someone else who they don't know what our purpose is. They don't know what our mission. And why would you give someone that much power? Again, I'm not saying that you can't have a successful, 2-parent, 2-career, your children going to school. But to me, it's never set well with me to allow, even though my children go to school, your first education comes from home. And it's also quite funny to me that if you are this color, that's perfectly fine. It's okay to you be this color and to be a stay-at-home mother and to live a quote unquote soft life, to live a luxurious life. You can go shopping, you can do this and that. But that's not how the real life works though. And it's also not that you don't have an identity, that you don't have hobbies, that you don't have things that interest you. It's just that I'm not prioritizing girls trips and drama and your unhappiness, and we're going to sit around, we're going to powwow about that every time that's not my thing. We're going to prioritize what we're going to do in our home, and a good friend would understand that and also not shame you because you prioritize your family and your husband. If you choose to be happy and you're single, that's your business. I support that, but don't shame me for choosing what works for my husband and our family, and respect that.
Lady Di, I think the Beehive shut me down, girl.
Yeah, they did. They came for you.
I want to answer that question about shaming.
Yeah.
We do, and I'll answer that after the Chicago sound effects go past. So y'all go.
That's just like New York. Wow. I was gonna say,
Lady Di, let me add to that. I appreciate all of what y'all saying, because I absolutely got shamed in my early years of being a stay-at-home mom. I think our first stay-at-home stretch was the now 18-year-old. So being pregnant with that one, we made a decision for me to be home. It was more feasible and functional for everybody. Like she said, it was my purpose. I never felt burdened or like I sacrificed something. I was where I needed to be, in all of those moments, and I wouldn't change it for nothing. And again, we're about breaking cycles. We're actually doing something that neither of our parents were capable of doing. So that I am extremely grateful, so I try to give myself grace when I'm in those challenging times, and that's something that we all need to do, because we do have those people around us that don't support that. And it's like, oh, you don't want to be dependent on no man. What are you talking about?
Right. That
what
part.
do you mean by that? It's a good man. This man chose to be my husband. He chose to give me these babies. I'm going to continue to be good to him, and hopefully he'll continue to be good to me. You understand? And that's how we need to focus that, and not, I'm going to tuck away this money just in case.
Right.
I think the older we get, and I'm so glad that a lot of stuff that comes to me now is, a lot of successful on paper women. I'm gonna say successful on paper because their personal life is BS. And I was that person. I was a public success, but a personal failure. And it don't matter all the award shows you go to. I got a couple of them. It's a lot of things that you get, but on the inside, you still not fulfilled. And I know a lot of us say, well, you know, maybe we just don't want to get married. No, yes, you did. You just exhausted all your options because you overvalued yourself and you overvalued where this career was going to take you. And so I do get shamed a lot. Now I got shamed for changing my last name on Facebook. It's his like literally. I had people. Well, this is your stage name. This is the name. Man, please listen. I am married now. I have been Samantha Thomas all my life. I have been that person all my life. I am a whole married woman. Some of us wish we could change our last name. I am not ashamed of it. And if you get to know me now, get to know me now. That's what I've just been telling people. Get to know me now. I am Samantha. However, I'm not being in no stronghold with no last name. So I got shamed even for that. Like inboxes, messages yes, like literally. And this is just, Lord, I've been married officially for 2 weeks. So it's the whole, he's controlling you. He doing this. No, it's called deep down. They wish that they had somebody. So this is why I'm telling you, I was single all in my 30s. What happens is you build up this whole resume of self that you, again, I get so sick of the shaming of, well, everybody don't want this and you this and you that. No, you wanted this, but you're behind 50 plus now. You done aged out the game. That's Ebony K. Williams, aging out. Now she hitting that wall. She hit it. Hell, I hit it. I'm telling you, I just made sure that I kept myself together. But a lot of us don't even be doing that. The gym is a kryptonite. I'm sorry. Let me go on mute, or the beehive needs to come back.
I'm loving it. Please, you cook it. You ain't saying nothing but the truth. And I tell you, accountability, it feels like an attack when one is not ready to acknowledge their behavior, especially if it affects somebody else.
Yep.
So we appreciate all that you're saying.
Yes, every single last.
He brought me flowers. Hi.
Thank you so much for the super chats, y'all. An actual King Smith, love a positive message. Salute. Thank you. Mr. He said, which is Mrs. She Said's husband, said, great panel, ladies. Appreciate the refreshing conversation. Salute to the ladies. Ring gang. Okay, I like that. Ring gang. I got you. All right. Yeah. But Mrs. She said was interesting because I think it's more like we can't depend on any man because they're going to leave us. They're not going to be with us. They're going to cheat on. That's what the first thing you hear them say. They're going to cheat on us and all of this stuff. But remember, that's that person's business. You worry about your business. Like, why are you so focused on what I'm like doing? And I'm married, right? I have another person with me. I'm not by myself where I need to go and try to rely on other people to help me succeed through life. I have a husband to do that with. So we are choosing to do this, and we have kids. Like, it's a whole nother situation when you bring a family into the world. So why are you mad at that? This is what I want to do. There's women who stay with a man, for example, for the ones that do cheat, they stay with them. There's women that don't, but that's based off of whatever they want to do. That's their business. That's their life. At the end of the day, most of them have kids. So regardless if they separate or not, they still have to come together forever, for life. So it's still a family dynamic that people are missing. We got to stop talking about all the negative stuff and talk about, like she said, I have a good man. So what are we talking about? I'm going to change. When I got married, I changed my name the next day. I was not playing. I was at all the Social Security, all that. I went back to my hometown, got my license with my name on it. I was not playing. You know what I'm saying? I've heard women wait 2 years, 3 years to change their name. And I asked them, I said, what took you so long? Oh, I was just lazy. What is lazy about walking yourself to where you got to go to change your name? It don't take that long, honestly. That was just an excuse. One girl was honest. She said, oh, I was still testing him to see if he was going to do something in 2 years? What are we talking about? That means you didn't trust him. And she's been with this one girl with him since high school. So what are you still testing? So it's like they come up with these excuses. Just say you didn't want to get married. he just proposed to you and you ain't want to hurt his fucking feelings. That's what really happened. Just be real. You get married if y'all agree, because some people are different, but for the most case, change your name. That is disrespectful if you don't. That's just my opinion. Everybody's different, but
I agree. I might get flack, but I don't even agree with the hyphenation.
Me,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that hyphen. Let it go.
You still let it go.
Welcome the new you. It's okay to cultivate family and home. It is okay. Please. We're needed.
Yeah. Everybody's different. Some people hyphenate the name because they want to keep their family name with the husband's name. So I feel like, it depends on you and your husband. But really, you take your husband's name and you got to let it go, like what Samantha was saying. So, oh, goodness. So let's get into it. We're going to get into the main event today. But before we do that, just wanted to dance a little bit. All right, so let's get into it, y'all. Ready for that main event? All right, so hold on. All right, so this is one of the wives that we have in the chat. We are talking about the first date. So I wanted to bring this up. She shared this on her stories. Her first date, they met at a networking event. I'm sorry, how they met was at a networking event, but their first date was Barnes and Nobles. So I wanted to talk about just that part, Barnes and Nobles, because we hear a lot of people saying, oh, he has to take me to the fine dining restaurant. Barnes and Nobles ain't nothing fine dining except fine dining mentally, right? To see where you're at in that space. So I love that that was their first date, and I love that she was okay with it. So I wanted to talk about that part. What do you ladies think about a first date at Barnes and Nobles? Good. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Okay. First date was movies. But New York City, 1998 is a commute, right? You got to get there. So that's the building session on the bus, the walk a few blocks. It's just that conversating, that is the point of the first meet, in my opinion. Everything was simple. Never went to these extravagant places. He started showing me places in New York City that I've never been to, little diners and things like that. So, it was fun for me. I was 20, yeah, none of that big stuff really impressed me because I have brothers. So I grew up in, the city, seeing a lot of flashy, and it wasn't impressive. So this new modern day mentality of it has to be the most expensive. It's, it's modern day. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's to each his own. But yeah, Samantha, what do you think?
My husband and I talked about, y'all still my husband. We talked about this together, especially when that whole Cheesecake Factory thing. Y'all remember that whole big debacle came out. And Cheesecake Factory is a very nice date with them hard to read menus, but can you even read the menu is what I wanted to ask some of these people talking about Cheesecake Factory or bad. Can you read? But anyway, I think that especially a low-key chill date, when you're trying to eat lobster and steak, what you going to be trying to talk to somebody and your fingers all messed up and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying, McDonald's is ideal, but I just think getting to know somebody is the main part of a first date. And somewhere like Barnes and Nobles, you really get to see how intellectual somebody is. And you can see if they know how to read. I'm stuck on this knowing how to read because a lot of folks out here, it's just, we so caught up on the wrong stuff now. Do I like nice restaurants? Yes. But that is not the end all be all. That wasn't the end all be all. I always say the way my husband treated me is my type. We get stuck on a certain type and where somebody is taking us. You want to count their pockets, but what their character look like. Their character could be all jacked up, but he could afford to take you a lot of places. A lot of men look great on paper and have the pockets to be able to afford you things. But what is their character like? and the character is not right all the time. So stop looking at what somebody can do for you and look at what they show you. Like the nice thing. Like I like Barnes and Nobles. I think that's dope. It's low key. It's reasonably priced. You ain't trying to outball your budget because you probably everybody on a budget in some kind of way. And just be chill. Get to know them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Moni, you got anything on that part?
Yeah, just, like you ladies said, it's a great way for you to see where a person's mind is at. See what their interest level is. Like you said, can he read? Can you read? What do they like to spend their time doing? Is this a part of a plan that they may have? Your man could be picking out books because he's working on something that can help set you guys up for your future, and he's just there to kind of see what you could be interested in and vice versa. So I think that is a great date if that's something that you're into. We talk a lot about, like we said, the cheesecake factories, the coffee dates, the walks in the park, but there's nothing wrong if you both like to nerd out and just read and increase your knowledge, because I think all adults should be reading something. And so what a way to just pick a person's brain and kind of see where they are in their state of mind. So.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So let's get more into it. Okay. So yeah, this is just what they got going on.
Yeah, I really enjoyed our date. It was pretty good. What I did?
Definitely could have been better. Way better. When we walked through the door, you didn't even hold the door for me.
Because you were taking your sweet time walking. I ain't want the people behind us to get the table.
You did pull out my chair, so that's good.
Uh-huh.
You didn't let me order first.
You ain't know what you wanted.
The conversation was decent, but you kept talking about YouTube for whatever reason.
I can't talk about my dreams now?
And to top it all off, I had to pull out my own card to pay?
You said you got it.
Come on now, be for real.
Well, since we talking about reviews, I got a couple for you. I'm about to go old school on your ass.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I had to wait for you to get here. You hit me with a sorry I'm late. Very unprofessional.
It was only 5 minutes.
That 5 minutes could have been spent eating appetizers. Secondly, you couldn't decide if you want a table or a booth, so that pushed my stomach back.
I was indecisive.
Typical. And then you wanted to order everything off the damn menu.
I paid for my own food.
Unladylike. And you talking about I'm talking too much about my passion. You over here having a yap session about nothing.
I was just making conversation.
Too damn much of it. And I just added this one. Don't get mad at me when you decide to pay for your own food.
I was just testing you to see if you'd actually pay, and you obviously failed.
And that's your problem. Stop testing us. I dropped out of college for a reason. So again next week?
No.
All right, she'll be back.
Yeah. It's a cute little video, and it was different. It was basically saying first date review. Like, should we do that? Not us, but people, women, should they do first date review? Because you just dating, you don't know what each other is thinking. You thinking this person really wants to be with you or really likes you, and they don't. They don't like everything that happened at that date. So do y'all think this is something that people should put into dating? Reviewing the date?
Yes. I first of all, from that video, I don't think neither one of them needs to be dating. He broke, and she looked like, the way she came on a date, just even looking. Both of them, neither one of them are ready mentally to be dating. That's what I got from them personally. But I will say this, yes to your question. I do like the reviews. However, I will go like even in relationships. When men leave women alone, like they could just do it cold turkey. I wish men sometimes, and I know this is a far stretch, I really wish they would tell women what was wrong with them. I think that probably would have even helped me out in my dating, because I thought that I was very peaceful. And I know men probably left me alone because I might not have been peaceful. And I never forget the big arguments me and my now husband got into. He said, you're disturbing my peace. I said, I am peaceful, just like that. And what? I didn't know. I thought that being nice was being peaceful. And even some men might tell women, like if you leave a dating review, like really, you need to learn how to be quiet. Some women could really learn down the dating line. And I said it might be a far stretch for men, but I really wish they would leave review.
Yes.
That is so funny, Samantha, because this reminds me, whoa, this probably a couple weeks ago, I seen someone do, I don't know if it was a woman or a man, did a review Keith Lee style of like a date or like a hookup or something like that. But I think that brings a really great perspective, right? If your man don't ghost you because you was cutting up or whatever, it would be nice to hear some feedback, right? About what were some things that, were a turn off, what were some areas that could have been a strength, and what would be some areas that definitely would need some improvement as you move forward in your dating, future. And so that way you can do an assessment, because we talk a lot about self-awareness, right? But I think there's a limit to that. When in our minds we can be delusional, we're so short-sighted, and we have these skewed perceptions about who we are. And it would be nice to hear feedback. One of the things I love the most is feedback. On my channel, I love feedback, right, wrong, or indifferent, because that is how I gauge, the quality of my content, the direction I might need to take, some things I need to consider, some things I might could do, nothing with, because I can't meet everyone's needs and can't please everyone. But it would be nice to just get some feedback and to kind of just sit with that as a level of an assessment, and just to, keep that in your mind, and you do with it what you must, okay? And kind of go from there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Bethany, I don't know if you heard the video, but it was like a first date review. A couple went on a date, and afterwards they spoke about what they liked and disliked. And it was pretty funny. And I was saying, like, should people just have reviews after the date? Because you just never know what people are thinking. We don't know who liked what. You just thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna get another date, and then the person don't call you back, or you don't like them, so you're like, nah, I don't want to go. So do you think it's fair to have a review to talk about it after a date? That was the question.
Absolutely. They need little after date cards. You bubble in your answer, and then if it's other, you write it in. I don't see a problem with that. I mean, like, people need to be self-aware, and I think it's unfair where you can't be honest with anybody. And it could be harmless. It could be like, oh well, she chewed with her mouth open, or you overtalked me, or hey, you shouldn't have ordered 4 drinks. That wasn't in the budget, or whatever. Just or maybe conversation went left, and like, oh, you went a little too deep, or you got a little raunchy. That wasn't for first date material. I think it's fine. I will take it. I'll take criticism, constructive criticism. Well,
It's
I'm all
kind
for
of
it.
woman to take construction, because they gonna be mad at us for some of the stuff we saying tonight. But it takes a special kind of woman to take that. And when he told me about the disturbing piece, y'all, I really was offended, because you couldn't tell me in my right mind this child that my mom and daddy raised was not a peaceful person, because I was not.
Oh, well, you're a new wife. Let me tell you, you may be offended in the future.
Girl,
show him grace. Anytime I'm checked is what you ladies call it. I don't mind calling it that, because sometimes you need to be checked, right? Telling me I'm disturbing the peace. I need to know that, right? So it takes the one you love to give you that criticism, so you're aware of it. The best advice: shut up and listen for a second, because the one that loves you, now if he's, I don't think we all married them kind of men. So it takes us quieting down and listening when that redirection is happening, that criticism is happening. Because like you said, you thought you were peaceful. Nobody never said nothing. Maybe you weren't listening sometimes.
No, they just left me alone. They left me alone. And fine as I thought I was, fine as I know I am, it's like it didn't matter if, and a lot of us, down to the dating assessment, the first date assessment, that's why I said bring it to the dating assessment. Like the guys that women have broken up with, like, what was really wrong with me? And if you were to be honest and ask, you'll probably really better arm yourself with dating in the future. But we have to, like you said, even that part of being quiet, that is a master. That's something that a lot of us need to learn. And the wives I'm talking about, because even to get there, sometimes you just gotta chill, ladies, just even to get there, because even to get an engagement, we can't even do that. So
yeah,
It's funny because the peaceful part, I'm not a confrontational person. So even when I got married, I remember I never had to have the last word, but I definitely wanted my point across. And I felt like he's not listening, he's not getting it. And after a while, things get heated, I just shut up. I'm just like, okay, you got it, you right. Now that may come off a little passive, but I'm just like, I'm not going back and forth with you. Now, guess what comes out of that? Me keeping my mouth shut. An apology. We can talk, make logical conversation, communicate properly in a calm manner. Good makeup, after the fact. We don't go through these 48 hours of upset and everybody in their feelings. Now you got 24 hours. Get your stuff together. Everybody need to get on one accord. We apologize in our marriage. My bad, babe. I was wrong. I didn't think of it like that. I didn't see your point. Look, as a woman, I be in my feelings and I get my little tears in, and he be like, "Really?" I'm like, "You're used to me." Okay, let me get my, he be like, "Stop all this crying, because I need you to get the common sense, okay? Let's be thinking logically." I'm like, "I'm emotional, I'm a woman." Yeah, okay. We gonna get to the point though, and we gonna solve this issue, and we'll be good. 8 years in, it's okay.
Yeah.
Now the checking don't happen too often. It's like once a quarter. We got.
right.
You can start becoming desensitized to the crying. We get that with our children, right? At some point it's like, you're not even crying. So don't think for 1 minute, us in our emotional states, where that shit can get a little like, all right, I understand. But like you said, you take that minute, again, that's the grace that we need, because it does happen. That
it's frustration.
Absolutely. Right.
Oh yeah, it's frustrating.
Old babies, but that's what we conform to sometimes.
If you need to cry in your corner, cry in your little corner. Just just need a minute. Get it together.
Refresh. Sometimes it's a refreshing.
Yeah, it's funny because the thing with me is like, okay, we're women and we have emotions, but just because you have emotions don't mean you need to act on them. Just because it's natural don't mean you still need to act on them, because at the end of the day, did we solve the problem or are we just crying? And that's when I had to check myself, like, okay, cool. You're right. This ain't helping nothing. I'm in my feelings, pissed off, but we have never resolved nothing except me just crying. So when that happened, that realization happened for me, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna learn to be more not as emotional, more logical. And then from there, yeah, it's not as often now. Like I said, it's still gonna happen because it's natural, but it's not as often now. But I love that I was able to change and see the other side. Because men see this side. They've been seeing this side for a long time. They can't cry and do all these things. They gotta get up and do what they gotta do. So to learn that type of skill, like I felt like it made me better. So I'm glad that, we have men to help us with that, but then we're listening too, because there's some ladies who don't get the chance to even see that space or feel that because they never listen to any man. It don't have to be your husband. There's men out there saying, all right, you doing too much, calm down. And they're going to give you all these excuses. But what did he just say? You're doing too much. How about you ask them, what does that mean? Or maybe the guys got to explain it better. I don't know, but I think that women need to start understanding that that's not a good space to be in. Because when you're very emotional, you make the wrong decisions. You start regretting things that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And then it's could fall into depression. All of these mental spaces that we don't need. We already go through a lot as it is. Some of us didn't have good childhood. Some of us didn't have things, that we want right now. So we need to make sure that we are in the most healthiest, happiest space in our mind so we could prosper in life. So I like that you guys are bringing that out. So that's a good point. So yes, we're about to end the show, you guys. We as wives, we can't be on here, at least not me. I can't be on here for 2, 3, 4 hours unless it naturally went that way. But we really have to get back to what we got to do. We got kids, we got husbands. So I never want to say that we're going to be on here long. This show will always be 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, but we're going to end it in a few. I just had a few questions. There is one question I had starred that someone asked. What is one thing y'all would tell your younger self? Anyone could answer that if you want to.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Bethany.
I would say don't be a people pleaser and say no. Learn to say no and stand on your no.
Yeah, I like that. Stand on it.
Stand on your no. I would say make love a priority as much as you do your career. Love and family a priority as much as you do your career, because you grew up seeing family. So why not,
It's true. We grew up seeing family, but we don't want it. That's a good point. It doesn't make any sense.
It does not make sense, right?
Nah. I'm thinking, because it's like for me, because I got married young, but I could have got married younger. It didn't have to be at 25. It could have been at 21. I would say just be around more marriage-minded people. A lot of people I was around was not married, especially living in the city of New York. Most people there are not married. Like, I've seen a lot of, I don't know my dad is deported, or all of that stuff. So it's like, seeing that, I'm like, cool, that's different. But I wasn't able to view the marriage life. I wasn't able to see how to be a wife as much. My parents got a divorce, so it kind of stopped there. So I wish I was around more, so maybe I would have made, I guess, better decisions, mentally as a lady. So I would say just trying to knowing that I should be finding marriage-minded people or married people, and maybe that would have been something that helped. So that's the advice I would give. Just be around people that's married, that's living that life positively, not no toxic marriage. Because just because you wife and you got a husband and all that don't mean that that's a good marriage. How is your marriage? Are you guys arguing all the time? That's not a good marriage. You got to learn how to communicate. So don't cling on to that marriage. Cling on to the positive ones, the ones that show love and care. When you see them, you're like, damn, they look happy. They look good. They know how to work out things. They know how to, be together with their family. So that's the advice I would give.
I would definitely give the advice of don't try to control everything. I agree with, in the comments, early on, we definitely try to steer and control the relationship the way we want it. And it's unfair to the other part. So be a good listener, so you can understand that man's purpose, because ultimately he's going to be your protector. He's going to be your provider. He's going to be your priest and everything else under the sun. So you have to, vet properly. Pretty much what I would say.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So yes, that brings us to the end of the show. I'm so glad you guys were able to make it. The ones who couldn't make it, we'll see y'all next time. And, we'll get into more topics, but this type of conversation we need to have that, and to kind of like just share what wives are thinking about, because when you're single, you don't really know sometimes. You just single and you're trying to figure it out. But for us who have figured it out and we're living the life, okay, we need to share light and bring some understanding into this space. So that's kind of why I wanted to share it. And then us wives need to talk, because some of the stuff that you guys are saying, some people would never understand. and they need to understand this is how a marriage looks like. This is what's going on. So just to make it a reality, not the fake stuff you see on Instagram all the time, where they're just getting roses handed to them every day. Like that stuff could happen. If that's your husband that likes to do that, that's what's up. But that's not reality. And if your husband is not giving you flowers every day, he is not a bad man. So I just, we got to kill all those narratives. We got to make sure that we showing what marriage looks like. So yeah.
You can give your husband flowers too.
Yes. That's right. I had posted a video, something like that. Like, you want your husband to be romantic, but are you romantic with him? Are you, because the thing is, there's some men that just are not romantic. Why? I can't answer that. Maybe they didn't see it. They don't know. Maybe they're nervous. Maybe they're shy. It's a whole bunch of stuff, but maybe you could show him how to be romantic. You want all these nice things, you give him those nice things. See if he could give you the reciprocal. Sometimes people got to learn from what they're looking at, and then they would do that. Yeah.
That's a big ask for some people too. And I'm so glad that Nikki said that, because there's nothing wrong with showering your man, and not just for the gram, not for a clout post either. Do it, and you ain't even gotta just take a picture for y'all so y'all can capture the memory in y'all phone and make it a favorite. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to. I am all about serving and catering as much as I can, and down to the cooking dinner at night. People, he can learn. He know how to cook, but I like to. He cooks very well. Saturday and Sunday. Me, Monday through Friday.
Awesome.
So I like
Beyonce
that.
also said cater to your man. Forgot about that.
She did.
Yeah.
But don't get me started on that for the Beehive. Cancel me again.
Nah, it's true. Like Beyonce, she was just doing that. She was just doing that to make money, but she know what it is. Cause why would she make a video?
How she got Sean? Ain't nobody crazy.
Right. Like we know that's what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? As much as they can in between their busy schedule. But we know she was doing something. She was hinting to do this, but then she'll throw it back and say, nah, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because she's just trying to make money. It's all entertainment. But she is married regardless. She's married with kids. So, I still respect that part. Because we all live in that type of life, regardless money or not. You still are there with your man at the end of the day. You still have to raise those kids at the end of the day with your millions of dollars. It doesn't matter, nannies or not. Them your kids. That's your husband. So that stuff doesn't matter. But yeah. All right, you guys, thank you so much for stopping in. We'll do this again whenever you're free. And you guys enjoy the rest of your night. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay. All right, you guys, we made it to the end. Oh my goodness. This is my first time doing a show like this. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who stopped by. If you are a wife that wants to be part of this show, definitely come in and you could join this conversation. If not, then we'll see you on the next show that we have. All right, you guys, have a good night and a good weekend.